Okay, so you've finally made it. This is the last section and it's on the head. So this is the head as I've created it. This is a little bit big, this version, but I have a new assembly model that's a little bit slightly downsized. But it gives you a good appreciation for the sizes involved. So the head is composed of 4 sections. So you've got the front lower chin section, you've got the back lower section that attaches to the neck, you've got the front sloping up section that is the front of your head above your forehead, and then you've got a back sloping up section which is for the back of your head. Now those are the 4 pieces joined together. I've decided to create the head this way because it's just easier. If you do more than 4 portions, you could have 6 portions, say, so that you more shape the back of the head and the back of the neck. It becomes very complicated and there's just really not the space for it unless you had less width on your cardboard edging. So we're going to create this shape. Fits to the neck. So you've got a slope for the neck, so you've got a slope for the back, lower back portion here. Fits on nicely. You can angle it and turn it if you're attaching it as a posable model with string or rope. So that's what we're going to make. How do we make it? Well, using the logic of your mating faces and what you've created already, you've already got the neck as the bottom of this design. So that's essentially that shape. So we just mirror it and we create the bottom square or rectangle of our square rectangle and risers. Just got to figure out what we do with the rest of the shapes. So how do we position those risers? Well, you got to look at the dimensions you can measure. So we have a dimension at the front of the neck, and you can measure up to the sort of peak point on your head before it starts to slope back in for the top of your head. So if you measure that dimension from the front of your neck up to the peak point on your head, you can add that to the model. If you then look at the dimension from the top of your neck at the back up to the, again, this sort of peak line before it starts to slope back in, horizontal line, if you imagine that running across your head. So if you measure that distance, you can add that to your model. So you've got the riser dimensions there. The next dimensions, you can measure the width across the midpoint of your head. So some people's heads, it goes out towards a midpoint around about here. So you can measure that width or estimate it. And you can take the dimension across the back of your head at this peak in terms of height. So width at the back, width across the widest point, as it were, and then you can make the correct length cuts for this lower back section of your head. Now, if I put it face on to you, so we just need to add a face now. So we already have these dimensions, so we can mirror this forwards. So the front of the head, the lower front, it's going to look like this. So we've got a forehead, we've got a chin, but it stops at the forehead in line with the peak width of the head here. Mating face, so it's very easy to create that. So then we've just got to look at the riser distances, and they are the distance across the forehead, the riser distances would be from the peak peak point of the head at which it sticks out to the start of the forehead on one side or the start of the forehead on the other side. And so that dimension is going to form that dimension here. The other riser is going to be